All right, guys. So moving right along, I'm going to be talking about skincare, prep, and also face products that I highly recommend for your kit or for personal use. I'm just going to go through to first prep. So that should always be your first step, whether you are, working on yourself or anyone else. Prep is like the most important part of your makeup. I usually try and always get a light serum on and then a cream and try to use like a spray primer, if you will. So the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water is amazing. I've just started using it, and it literally, I almost have to say it's better than MAC's Fix Plus. However, I still love MAC, but I mean, the Photo Finish Primer is amazing. So this is a really good one. It's L'Oreal Youth Code Skin Recharger Serum, and it's got no scent. I've used so much of this, it's lasted me like an entire wedding season, which is like 3 or 4 months. Actually, probably 4 months here. And then Ombre Elise is a really, really great one to have. Again, there's no scent to it. It's great for a little bit more drier skin. It's really nice and creamy. A alternative for a lighter hydration is the MAC Mineralized Charged Water Face and Body Lotion. It's a lot lighter in texture. You can definitely tell that there is a kind of a watery, more gel-like texture to it. It's really important that you start with your water phase first, so like a serum, and then this guy, or if you've got really, really, really dry skin, pop this guy on, maybe this guy, and then this on the top. So always make your creamy part the last. Wait till it absorbs into the skin. This one's great because you can use it as a primer as well. So, you can start the makeup with it, or finish it, or both. I've been doing both lately. It's amazing. Max Fix Plus is a really good one to have as well, but this is better. It actually is really, really good. I'm super impressed with Smashbox at the moment. And then I always have like a handy dandy little Carmex laying around as well. When I apply skincare, I like to use my hands because I feel like I can give a little massage to the client. It just kind of helps that bond between the artist and your client be a bit stronger. Sometimes clients are really, really shy and you need them to feel comfortable with you. So if you can give them a little massage, that's great. So I recommend, I use my hands, but I always ask, are you comfortable with me using my hands on you? And then go from there. If they're not comfortable, I can recommend using like any flat foundation brush, just to really get the product on. If you really need to buff it in, I would suggest something like this guy right here. This is an IT brush. These are great for like foundation or skincare or primer. So I recommend those guys. Moving right on to primers. So I have a bunch more, but these are the ones that I normally go to. So I've got the Laura Mercier Radiance Foundation Primer, and then Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector and Moonstone, and then this is the new one that I think is actually even better. It's the Backlight one. It's still got a little gleam to it, but it's like a colder gleam. It's not as like super strong, so it's a little bit more of like this, I don't know, like it's like the Becca models. Like if you go onto Becca's page or on their Instagram and you see their models, like they're just like these beautiful bronzed goddesses. So if you still want that glow but kind of look beachy and supermodel-y, I would go for like either this one or this one. This is a little bit softer. If you want more of like that Jennifer Aniston glow, Charlotte Tilbury's Wonder Glow is fantastic. By the way, these all mix really well together, and then that's why I like them, because they're quite similar in consistency, most of them. So you can mix them together according to what your client wants. Always ask them what sort of finish they want. If they want that like supermodel glow, do they want like an Instagram glow? Do they want more of like a Jen Aniston red carpet, healthy glow? You know, you can word it. That's kind of up to you. The more you talk the lingo, the easier it is to kind of find out what your client wants. And I definitely have like a range of the glowing primers because some of them are more cool tone, some of them are more champagne, some of them are golden. So have a range with that. I really, really like the Too Faced Hangover Primer. It's really, really lovely. It's like another little drenching, like hydrating primer. If I have someone who's got like a normal skin and they've already had like and their skin feels soft and plumped and not dry, and they don't get overly oily, I will use this over just a serum, and I usually skip the moisturizer. It really depends on their skin. You know, ask your client if you can have a little feel of their skin, obviously after you clean your hands, obviously. And then for more kind of mattifying, problematic skin, I've really been digging the new formulation of the Smashbox Photo Finish oil-free primer. It even works on me, and I have like quite dry, sensitive skin, and I usually break out from primers. Like Professional for me is way too strong, and even Max Skin Base is too strong for me, but these are still really good ones that I keep in my kit. Also, they're really popular, so a lot of clients, when they see that I've got them, they're like, oh my god, yay, it's familiar. You know, you're not going to put some random stuff on me. So that's another good thing to keep in mind. You know, try and get some products that are popular on the market so people can, you know, you can be more relatable and people will trust you more. Your clients will trust you more. And then this guy right here is, I kind of think it's like a hybrid primer. It sort of mattifies, but sort of still has a glow. It's not a shine, so if like you wanted to add a glow to it, I would first put this on and then use something after it. It is the Hourglass Veil Mineral Primer. It's got SPF 15, which is basically worthless. But yeah, no, it's fantastic. And in Sephora, you can get this little smaller version, which I don't know if you can get it anywhere else, the smaller version, but in Sephora you definitely can. So I would check that out too. Again, these are like my go-to ones that I use mostly when I'm working on a client. Now, again, you know, I like to use my hands if I can, but if your client wants you to use a brush, use the same similar type of brush that I would use for skincare. Moving on to foundation and concealer. So straight off the bat, you see this massive monstrosity right here. Basically, my foundations consist of the Bobbi Brown BBU palette, which has all of her concealers and color correctors, and then you flip this over and it's got all of her stick foundations in here. The reason why I love this kit is because, again, it mixes very well with other products. So for instance, the other items I have in my kit are the NARS whatchamacallit, tinted moisturizers. I don't like their foundations except the cream one, the creamy palettey one. I like that, but that I'd use for that for myself. This one is fantastic, and it mixes, again, very well with other products. So face and body, and then I have a white one as well. This is just like a couple. I'm not going to take out all the shades that I own. But these are what I use, and it really cuts down packing time, and also, you know, I kind of think the more products you have, the more things get confusing and all of that. I don't have Studio Fix just because I do a lot of bridals, and there's flashback in that, and these are great products to ward off as the flashback. But I mean, this one has SPF 30 in it, but I mean, when you dilute it and mix it and all that stuff, it's not as crazy. And then for darker skin tones as well, I mean, the BBU palette has a lot of, like, it does have quite nice dark skin tone colors. However, I mean, the darkest shade is Espresso, which maybe equivalent to maybe like an NW50 or 55, but I think NW55 would be pushing it a little bit. So I'll use like something like the Makeup Forever concealer palette to kind of play with the shades and intensify them. Also, the MAC Studio Finish concealer palettes are amazing to have as well. Moving on to concealers, definitely wanted to let you guys know about these two right here. They are the MAC Correct and Conceal pens, like little pens. I have done several photo shoots just using these products on the models. They are fabulous. You need them in your kit. You really get that supermodel skin that's just flawless, and it's amazing. Obviously, if you've got someone with really, really problematic skin, it's not going to be enough. But if you have a model who's got, anyone who's got like, nice, lovely skin, suiting the urban legend that exists, and it does exist. These are great. Mineralize concealer, great for under eyes, I think, because it gives that really nice like glow effect. Same with the Tarte Maracuja creaseless concealer. It's a little bit thicker consistency, which I absolutely adore, but it still gives amazing coverage with that little bit of like a glow. And then of course, MAC Pro Longwear concealers, more matte finish, super, super lightweight feeling, but like amazing coverage. I'm super bummed out that Sephora in the States has discontinued Illamasqua. I love their concealers and their products in general. If anyone knows in the States how I can get a hold of Illamasqua, please let me know. And then this is just MAC Studio Finish Concealer. Moving up powders, I quickly wanted to mention this guy right here. It is a Becca foundation powder. I don't use it in my kit. I use it on myself. And I really, really wanted to mention it because anyone with dry skin who has trouble with a powder, I mean, anytime that I put powder on my dry skin, I instantly look about 10 years older and it just looks disgusting. But this is so buttery, so beautiful. I highly recommend it. The ones that I have in my kit, however, are MAC CC in yellow, the loose powder, and then just the clear translucent powder. The CC yellow, don't underestimate it. It is amazing. I had a client recently who had quite sensitive red skin, and I really, really prepped her skin amazingly before, really calmed it down, and then used Face and Body, covered up, color corrected with the yellow concealer, and then used the powder over the top, and she looked fabulous. So that's a total keeper. I do like the loose better than the pressed. I think the pressed looks a little bit more chalky. Another powder that I do really recommend, which is not here, it's somewhere else. I don't know where it is right now, but it is the MAC Blot powder. Really, really great. And then let's see, I've got a few more minutes before my camera cuts out. So let's just talk about some cool brushes that I recommend you having. Some of them are dirty because I've used them. It brushes by Ulta. I mean, if you guys have not tried these are fantastic. They're so good. Yeah, I've been loving this for buffing and foundation. And then these two guys right here, love them for concealer. They're fabulous. And then these are just your MAC average kind of like paintbrushes. This is a brand new MAC one. I'm not wild about it, to be honest with you. It's great with great with more matte full coverage foundations. Not so keen on it with not really keen on it with too sheer products or anything that's more glowy. I think it works better with faster drying products like the new MAC waterproof Pro Long Wear foundation. It's great with that. This guy right here, I think the number has rubbed off. No, it hasn't. It's a MAC 159 mineralized foundation, some more glowy, dewy finish, creamy, like maybe like medium coverage, I would say. Fabulous for that. It's also really, really nice to blend out. If you have NARS creamy, radiant creamy concealers, very, very good for that one. What else? Really quickly, I have this big MAC brush here because I love the shape of it. I love how dense it is. However, it drives me nuts that it just sheds like crazy. So keep that in mind when you're choosing MAC. This one, I cannot pronounce the name of it. It is a NARS one. I use it for contouring. You'll have to check it out. It's pricey, but super beautiful and really well worth it. It's super, super nice and tapered and does not shed. And then another little newbie that I've got is this MAC 137 brush. It just deposits the product so softly, really, really sheerly. I really recommend it for a more like natural, if you like your bronzer more natural or your blusher really natural. The more tapered and not tapered, the more dense the brush is, the more heavier the application will be. Something like this that's quite fluffy and fanned out will give you a much softer, sheer application. And that's probably why I don't love this guy so much for foundation, is because it's so dense that if you start to buff and like put pressure on the skin, it just moves everything around too much. So I don't know, I love it for contouring, great with more matte finish, fuller coverage stuff, things that dry quickly. Stippling is better and sweeping is better than buffing with this. I just think it moves it around too much. Like this is way better, and this is quite dense as well, but you see that it's not like at the top there, so the bristles have time to move. So you get more like a medium buildable cover with that. And I think that's something that you need to look at when you're choosing brushes. Really look at what consistency products you're using them with, what you want to achieve, and your pressure that you use with the brush. Because if you're using something that's uncomfortable and you can't use it correctly, it's not worth it for you. So really investigate, try out different brushes. And yeah, that's it, guys. That's kind of like face skin prep, concealing, powdering, and some cool brushes that I recommend to have. Yeah, that's it. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.